luxury, or you know, he doesn't seem to be interested. And that's not the case. I think if you sat down and probably talked with Steve McManaman, he probably cares more about the game than a player who you wouldn't think.
They used to say that about another winger that England had, didn't they? Hunched shoulders.
Well, that's right, and he was a very talented player as well. But it is true, Richard, that we've got this thing about playing with passion for your country. Whenever you pull that shirt on, yeah, you'll play badly, but you never ever play without passion for your country.
Well, speaking of which, the captain, surely, there's none more passionate right now, is there?
Well, he has to be today, because today is the day one would have thought that Alan would have to produce, because he's come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism over the last couple of weeks, and we would imagine today that this would be the day when he's going to try and silence a few critics.
Although there hasn't been too many signs of that, Chris, has there, in a Newcastle jersey? Is today the sort of relief that he needs?
Well, if you're going to get some goals in international football, today's the day. You'd be praying after the 2 weeks he's had, the next international would be somewhere at Luxemburg at Wembley.
Is he still the Alan Shearer that we grew to love 2 years back? I mean, announced himself on his debut against France, has continued to score international goals, but is he different now to what he was?
I think the 2 injuries he's had have took maybe a yard or two off him, I think so. But he's still, if you put the ball in the box, he's exceptional in the air. But we get obsessed as well in this country about crosses as well. I mean, all I've heard for the last 2 years is we don't give him enough crosses. You know, give him a pass and score. He can score with his feet. He's not all about his head. And sometimes a pass is as good as a cross, sometimes better. You know, sometimes when you cross, unless you pick somebody out, you're going into a pack of bodies. Where sometimes if you pass it into somebody's feet and say, yeah, go and remember Euro 96, Terry Sheringham setting them up for 2 or 3 goals. You know, a pass is as good as anything. We get obsessed by saying we don't give Shearer crosses. The game's not all about crosses. Yeah, if it's there to be delivered, deliver. There's no reason why you can't pass to somebody in the box and say, yeah, stick that away.
For that fixture, so it's the 6 points in England's sights. Tony Adams and Stuart Pearce, who might have expected a call up for the Carling Masters in midweek rather than a recall after 2 years out of the real thing for England. Kevin Keegan, who's a man with more than a touch of romance in his soul, and I think his selections show that. He's decided that Pearce is the player to prop up the left-hand side in the absence of Graham Rousseau. The new Newcastle United manager is the guest of honour, and he will first of all meet the players from Luxemburg before acquainting himself with the current captain of the club that he joined yesterday. But life begins back in England at the age of 66, Andy.
Incredible story, Martin, unbelievable. And he's seen many things in his footballing years, Bobby Robson, but I do believe he never imagined for a minute that at 66 years of age, he would be taking charge of not only Newcastle United, but a Newcastle United in such turmoil. But this is a day for him to enjoy. He's here, I'm sure, as a 100% England supporter, hoping that this England side can do what I think the majority of these fans want to see, an emphatic victory.
Well, Alan Shearer has tried to get away from all the recent ballyhoo, but here he is, out on the pitch with a reminder of the soap opera at St James's Park, which has a new leading character. And there's a picture for the album.
Wonder if he says, okay, boss.
Bobby Robson may well recall that the last time Luxembourg played here, he was the England manager, and England achieved a record Wembley win, 9-0. Luther Blissett had a hat-trick in his first full England appearance. They turned out to be his only England goals. Kieran Dyer, another Newcastle United and indeed an Ipswich connection for Bobby Robson. They've met before at Portman Road. Martin Keown, who's played so well under Kevin Keegan, and Tony Adams playing for the first time under Kevin Keegan. Jeff Thompson, the chairman of the Football Association, there with Bobby Robson. A proud moment for a proud man, and my goodness, he's got to get down to work at St James's Park as soon as today's assignment is fulfilled. So it's time for the national anthems. So here's the England team with David Seaman still affected by that pre-season calf injury. It's Nigel Martyn in goal. The Arsenal defensive bastion of Martin Keown and Tony Adams, only Adams' third cap since the World Cup finals in France. Kieran Dyer's debut at right back. Stuart Pearce, after 2 international retirements, is back on the left. In midfield, Steve McManaman will start on the right with Ray Parlour on the left. David Batty in a holding role, leaving David Beckham free to express himself from more central positions. And Alan Shearer and Robbie Fowler hoping to get amongst the goals today. Luxembourg's goalkeeper in the firing line, 23-year-old Philippe Felgen. Mark Beersons is the sweeper and captain. 3 defensive markers, Funk, Charles, who's making his debut, and Vanek, plus 2 fullbacks, Ferron on the right and Posing on the left. A midfield trio of Saibonet, Schneider and Tice, who missed that penalty against England in October, and just 1 striker, Marcel Christophe.
Well, it's Kevin Keegan's selection. It's had everyone scratching their heads and wondering, Martin, just how they are going to play. We'll wait and see. I don't for 1 minute think that McManaman will stay and play there all the time. He might get a free roll to come inside, and when he does that, leave Kieran Dyer room to fly up there. I also think Pearcey will be flying up this left-hand side with Parlour just tucking in even a little bit. That'll give them natural width left and right. I like to see Beckham push further forward, Martin. Get him within 30, 35 yards of goal and have 1 or 2 strikes. There's no need for him to go too deep. And again, Shearer and Fowler, if they're on song, they can trouble anyone. But for Luxembourg, well, Van Eyck, we are led to believe, might just man for Mark. David Beckham, we'll wait and see. But I think Kevin will be hoping that these players are all pushed back this way, almost back in, and very little coming forward. Again, that'll be protected by Thijs Schneider and Sabinet. And I just think with Christophe the only striker up there, that's what I mean about Keown and Adams can look after him. Let the 2 players mark down his full-back to bomb forward.
Amongst the England substitutes, Michael Owen, special interest with Poland in mind. Well, it's Luxembourg to kick off. It's not even their best team. Strasser, a key defender, and their most creative midfield player, Cardoni, are both suspended. For England, winning is essential and expected, but a big victory and a convincing performance would carry weight in Warsaw on Wednesday. Welcome back to Stuart Pearce. Now, of course, of West Ham United. Here's Vanek. All the players starting for Luxembourg today are part-timers, but they are part-timers in an interesting sense. They have jobs, they get money playing for their clubs, but they also train every week, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, with the international coach, Paul Philippe.
Well, certainly no one's picking Beckham up man for man, but Shearer, as you can see there.
Strong pass from Alan Shearer. Straight away, help on hand from Charles, making his debut for Luxembourg. England trying to drive on, and Batty doing just that. Here's Fowler. No one to tee it up for initially. Pearce can have a wallop.
See, that's where I'd like to see Beckham, Martin. You know, as that ball's played in, Robbie Fowler's looking for support. That's where you'd like to see Beckham. But Alan Shearer, well, that's more like it. Ball's played up, muscles him out. The ball eventually comes to Fowler. He's looking for someone to set it to. Pearce really was the only option.
37.
Sorry, Shearer, man marked by the number 5, Funk, and Robbie Fowler by the 3 Scholes. And that's what can happen if you're only man marked. You know, if you get away from your marker, there is a chance that your next touch on the ball will be a shot.
Funk marked Shearer in Luxembourg in October. He's resuming the same vigil here. McManaman. Here's the first chance for Kieran Dyer to express himself, and he's doing just that with a really telling cross. England a little disappointed, perhaps with lack of numbers in the centre. Parler. Adams just had the one game this season for Arsenal, and a difficult one it was against Robbie Fowler in particular and Liverpool. Beckham. Luxembourg, by and large, on a damage limitation exercise. Pearce. The officials all come from Belarus, headed by referee Sergei Shmolik, who has given England a free kick here.
And nothing wrong with the tempo of England's start, Martin. It's upbeat, it's bright. They're on the front foot, pushing forward, looking for that early breakthrough, and why not hit it? Test the goalkeeper's nerves, test his ability early on, follow it in, spills anything if 2-3 players attacking it.
More elevation than excitement there. Still looking for his first England goal at Wembley. His one successful strike for his country was in the World Cup against Colombia from a free kick.
The thing about Luxembourg, Martin, they'll have faced this quite a few times in their international years. They've been under real pressure early on in the match, knowing that if they can see that off and the game settles, does give them a little bit of a chance.
Forward by Pearce. Charles sticking as tightly as he can to Fowler. Ray Parler very pleased to accept the offer to get into the team. First start for him, even though he's out of position. Been one or two slightly questioning comments in the papers today about Kevin Keegan's selection. He was being asked to operate out of position. Kieran Dyer, who charmed the press back yesterday, admitting that he couldn't remember the last time he played at right back, but it was a position he did occupy in his early days at Ipswich.
Hey, trust me, I'll remember now. Yeah, I think Kevin's selection surprised quite a few, Martin, but it's an adventurous one. It's purely for this game. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind about that. And I wouldn't expect this same team, no matter what the score is, to be the team that starts against Poland on Wednesday.
Well, there's a certain Paul Scholes who is suspended today, who's available. Jamie Redknapp and Chris Sutton, who are not fully fit, hope to make themselves available to be in contention for that game as well. They're still with the squad. Fowler.
Well, already can see clearly, Martin, that both Parlour and McManaman have been given license to tuck in field and even get up further behind and in contact with Fowler and Shearer. It's almost like two banks of midfield with Batty and Beckham behind those two.
Ball actually went out then. I think that's why David Batty's in the team, just to make sure he's looking at things in front of him with a sense of responsibility, even though there'll be plenty around him with gung-ho instructions. Christoph looking to link up with Schneider, who's replaced Cardoni in that number 10 shirt. Christoph was the player who was brought down by David Seaman for the penalty that England conceded in the rain in Luxemburg back in October, when it looked as though there were clouds of a different kind for Glenn Hoddle. England actually played quite well in the first half of that game, but didn't do at all well in the second. 3-0 was the margin. And just as a barometer, Luxembourg's last home game was against Poland, and they won that 3-2. They were 3-0 behind, but Luxembourg scored twice with headers from dead ball situations in the closing minutes of the match. McManaman looking back at Dan Tice.
Chance now, Beckham area, right side. Quality in, Keown, Adams joining Shearer.
So can England shake off the markers in the centre? Expect good delivery here from David Beckham. That was Keown. Not quite sure where it had ended up, whether he got the last touch.
Not
England
so sure.
holding in the penalty area, expecting to get a corner, but
I'm not so sure he knew too much about it. No, I thought it was. It quite looked like a corner. Didn't look to get anything on that at all, Martin Keown. The referee, you can see the right of the picture. Didn't have the best look at that.
well, it is very hot at pitch level, and George Gavin, our touchline man, is experiencing that. George.
Yes, to give you some idea what it's like out there, Martin, the biggest opposition to England may not be the Luxembourg team, it might be the weather, in fact, because we just recorded 107.2 out there on the pitch.
Wembley goal to his name already this season in the Charity Shield.
Good little touch from the goalkeeper. Don't know whether it's going in. Looks disappointed. Felgen that, well, whether he just felt he should have clutched this rather than spill it for a corner. I think it's going wide anyway, but he made sure. I think his disappointment might be, I think he'll know this is a danger. Anything Beckham's delivering, he's got danger written all over it.
Beckham's corner. It's too high for Keown that time, who was by the near post area to flick it on. Keown, Parlour and Adams from Arsenal starting the game today. Couple from Newcastle, of course, Dyer and Shearer. Two from Leeds United in the shape of Nigel Martin and David Batty. Just one from Manchester United, David Beckham. Beersons, very much a senior man at the back for Luxembourg. Pearce, Shearer trying to cushion it down, and it's Batty on the scene. That's a lovely ball from McManaman. By Funk, Batty goes in again.
Now that should be 1-0. It's only a free kick. But that was a great half stop from the goalkeeper. It gave Funk a chance to get back in.
Dyer's cross. In goes Batty again, beaten to it by Seibernet. Well, Steve McManaman, it's been mentioned often that he hasn't yet scored for England.
Great ball from Batty, beautiful reverse pass. He thinks he's got enough on it, but that's really, really good defending.
a lovely run. It's a certain penalty. Pearson strips Kieran Dyer, who's taken just 10 minutes to make a mark on his England debut.
Such is his confidence, Martin. His eyes are kite at the moment. There's a wonderful weaving run. No arguments. That's a penalty. Leaves him for dead. Drops his shoulder. Just tucks inside. One of the easier decisions the referee will have to make. And it no doubt gives Alan Shearer a great opportunity to give England an early lead.
Only 9 players have ever scored 25 goals or more for England. Alan Shearer needs just one more to join that list. He's not been talking this week. It's a great chance for actions to speak louder than words for the England captain.
I wonder, power of precision, would you think?
Different goalkeeper to the one that he put the penalty past in Luxemburg. It's precision. It's England 1, Luxembourg 0. Alan Shearer has something to smile about. It's his 25th goal for his country, unerring from the penalty spot.
Well, I think that tells you a lot about the lad's confidence, Martin. I think if he's feeling a little less than confident, he hammers that. He puts his foot behind the ball and he uses just power right down the middle. Such is his confidence, he just slots it to the goalkeeper's left. Well, it's been 10, 11 minutes of incessant England pressure. They've got the early breakthrough they wanted. Can they go on now and make it fun in the sun for all these England supporters here today?
Well, a goal forged in Newcastle. Kieran Dyer sent tumbling and Alan Shearer spot on. Pearce, 3 in the centre for England. McManaman. It's Robbie Fowler. It's Shearer. Flag has gone up. Fowler's put it in. It's not a goal. It's not a goal.
It must have been close, Martin. I think the flag goes up after it comes back off the goalkeeper, flagging Alan Shearer offside. But is he offside when Fowler hits the shot?
Yes.
Yes, a yard. But then the flag goes up after the goalkeeper's made the stop.
Excellent decision. And Robbie Fowler followed up to finally put it in the net, but it stays at 1-0.
I have to say, if you were playing out there as a front man, you would be relishing this. Get the ball forward, please, at all times. Chances really do feel to be coming along, one every couple of minutes.
Parler. In goes Adams as Christoph hesitated.
Well, a good ratio, Martin. 9 chances in the opening 13 minutes of this match.
Dyer. Went just behind Beckham, but it ran on for Shearer. Certainly Beckham was the target of Dyer's pass. Pearce. Fowler spins away, and Tice just intervening for Luxembourg, who are finding it virtually impossible to get out of their own half. Well, something to build on at St James's Park. Shearer, incidentally, has never scored a hat-trick for England. 4 occasions he's got 2 in international. And those 25 goals have come in 21 games, which is a pretty good tally. In the case of cashing in with big helpings against the weaker countries.
Good, I like that in the striking, man. Not so much that you get 4 and 5 against the weaker ones, but you score in games. It's a pretty good sign. You can do it against loose opposition.
Beckham stops it reaching the head of Shearer. Saint-Benet giving Luxembourg just a moment or two's respite. No more than that. Fatty. Dyer being roared on McManaman. Mahler was coming in behind Shearer.
You know, they haven't done bad in Luxembourg, have they? They've had to defend deep and in numbers, but the majority, when the balls come into the box, they've defended it quite well.
Well, they know their jobs, Andy, because, as I said earlier, they do have the chance to work on this week in, week out, which is most unusual for a national team. And of course, they need to do it. Dyer, who's been outstanding at under-21 level. Well, you're a bit surprised it's 2% on the left.
I don't believe that stats, man, I tell you. He needs to be sacked.
Shearer. Laurent trying to get it away. Parler on the scene quickly. Well, Paul Philippe has really given his life to football in Luxembourg. More than 50 caps as a player. He's approaching 70 now as a coach. And he's a very highly charged, emotional man.
He looks knackered already.
He was barking away at the training. And they do need somebody who really cares, you feel, to get the players to go out each time with their heads up. Fowler.
Lucky, long run Robbie Fowler made there.
Jeff Siboney, number 6, actually played against Scotland for Luxembourg back in 1986. Whether, Andy, were you still playing then?
86, I was still playing.
He's an 18-year-old. Richard Gough played in the match at Hampden Park, and of course he's still playing. Adams. McManaman well ahead of Dyer. Decides to use his compatriot on the England right. Batty. Out goes the wonderfully named Patrick Posing. I think, Andy, we've known one or two players down the years who might have been named that. Belgian, who conceded 7 on his international debut against Germany. Now a chance for Luxembourg to put something together in England territory. Batty got in the way of Schneider's square pass, which was aimed for Tice. Team in red funnel back. Dyer, Beckham. Trying to get the better of Posing, but the left-sided player for Luxembourg forced his way in front astutely. Dangerous play called against Batty.
You know, it might be worth shifting McManaman at times, Mark, over to the left-hand side. With Dyer and McManaman, the two best England players at running with the ball at their feet and really getting at defenders, but both playing right-sided at the moment. I just wonder if Kevin might just think, well, let's just stick Steve on the left-hand side. Just tuck Ray Parler in a bit and then just let him get a chance to run at them on that side as well.
Some cheers for a touch for Nigel Martin. Concentration will be the most important part of his game today, you sense.
Listen, trust me, you're an Englishman. You could have played in goal for England today. And I've seen you.
Leave it, Rob, it's tight.
Well, the Wembley followers have seen a few games here where England have failed to score. I think of Chile and Saudi Arabia, France, Bulgaria and Sweden in this competition. So some of the regulars will really be hoping to see the net bulge. Keogh.
That's a perfect start because England now don't have to chase a game, Martin.
Chasing the pass though is Ray Parler. Back Picked up by Beckham. Ball really should have been cut out. And that flew off Beerson's, the player who conceded the penalty.
Well, the fact they're going top corner, you might just have seen his number come up there, not his day. Could have gone anywhere.
Kia, headed on by Shearer. Beerson's playing his 51st international for Luxembourg. Missed too many games, but he missed the match against England in October through a suspension because he was red-carded against Poland. Luxembourg play Sweden in Luxembourg on Wednesday. It is such a small country, population around 400,000. 100,000 or so of those are foreigners. And actually, Andy, you'll laugh at this, but Paul Philippe telling me the big problem he has as international coach is too many foreigners in the Luxembourg League.
What's he got, 6?
Well, they have 12 teams in their top division, and he reckons he's got about 50 players to pick from, all told.
Still having a good club squad then, isn't it? This is exactly what they're like now, these teams, Martin. They're organised, they're disciplined, they defend deep, try and deny you space to play into.
Shearer was complaining that he was fouled by Funk. Referee had a look. That would have been possibly a bit of push and shove by both players. Off goes Fowler. Robbie Fowler had a marvellous game against Arsenal. I think by some distance, and by his own admission, his best game of the season so far. Just came at the right time to catch the eye of Kevin Keegan, who was at Anfield last Saturday. Here's to hurl it, longish. Headed out by Beerson's. Dyer. To link up with McManaman, but the return ball was not up to scratch. Batty. Fowler. Just a force wide by the angle of the pass. And his first thought might have been to try a left footer at goal, but it was only the cross that was on. Parlour.
I talked about games settling down, Martin. I think the fact that in the opening 13 minutes I said England had 9 chances, since that moment, not a chance.
Well, it is a case of taking on the temperatures as well as taking on the opposition, and mobility, and wanting to play at a quick tempo, there's no doubt about that. Quite as easy. Dyer. Batty. Fowler. For Dyer. He just looked to flick it through for Batty. Wondered for a second whether he might have a crack with his left foot.
I do like Dyer when he plays centrally, Martin. No, I know he's playing right back. I know he can run with the ball. When the games I've seen him play, and we've seen Newcastle quite a few times this season, he's been absolutely effective running from central midfield areas.
He told me yesterday that he warmed up. He wasn't a starter for Newcastle in the first game against Aston Villa, that game in which Shearer got sent off, and he warmed up to come on, wondering whether he was good enough for the Premiership. Well, 5 games down the track, I think he's satisfied himself and others. There's a tug by Parlour. On Jeff Siboney, who had 10 years as a full-time professional in Switzerland, has returned to his roots for this season. Well, I did say they scored twice against Poland from dead ball situations.
Well, I
Those
think
2 goal scorers, Vanek and Beerson's, have come up.
No, with Adam Shearer, Keown back there, Martin, they're going to have to be pretty good to get a header in there.
Well, they are lacking, Luxemburg, is the player who took a free kick in a corner in that game, Cardoni, who
just looking, Martin, suspended. Just looking down what I suggested earlier about Steve McManaman, who's just popped over left side in front of Stuart Pearce. Steve McManaman and Parlour have been switched.
Well, Parlour will be happy about that. Beginning his new life in Spain, and his first target is to win a regular place in the Real Madrid starting 11. From Toshak, big Liverpool connection there. He's the man he's got to convince.
Oh, late flag there.
Flag
Very late. Very late. Well, he was like a cricket umpire, that linesman there. Took a long time, looked at it, and decided the flag was going up. It's always a difficult one when the defender and forward cross. The pitch has just about got it right.
He's 2 out of 2 against Alan Shearer, the assistant, for accuracy. Ferron. Saibonet. Forward by Ferron, bit of space for Dan Tice. And the shot for Nigel Martin to deal with. It came from Sascha Schneider.
He has tried to go forward, Martin Schneider. We said that Christoph would play up alone, but Schneider, number 10, has tried to get forward, give him a little bit of support. That hasn't happened too often.
Parlour. Dyer. The take on Posick. Wilson's pulled out of the centre, but he blocked the attempted cross. Dyer again, playing at Wembley, incidentally, for the very first time, and clearly loving it. Beckham, on from Shearer, Fowler. Shearer, oh, it flew past Felgen. And we've not yet had half an hour at Wembley. 2 for England and 2 for Alan Shearer.
Well, what a venomous strike this is. You think there's nowhere to go for Shearer. He goes under the ball here, but he's very quickly round. And full marks to Robbie Fowler for spotting his strike partner. He just reacts quicker, Shearer, but when it's there, you think he's got nowhere to go. But such is the power and the right foot of Alan Shearer that it's past Felgen before he can move. Right on cue, little sticky 15 minutes for England. That's exactly what they needed.
Is the Shearer era coming to an end? Not if Alan can do anything about it. And his is the name being chanted here at Wembley. Batty. Well, the only worry he has in terms of heading for a first England hat-trick would be the fact that he comes into this game with a yellow card, and Kevin Keegan has said that when the game is effectively in the bag...
I mean, no.
Well, you could well say no.
I am saying no.
That thoughts will turn to Wednesday night, and those 4, Batty, Beckham, Fowler and Shearer, who would miss that game in Warsaw if they were to collect a yellow card in this game. I wonder how they would do that, but there are plenty of ways to get booked these days.
Well, the 4 big players, Martin, that's the thing as well.
Parlour. Shearer and McManaman has broken his England duck.
Well, that's the switch worked brilliantly, hasn't it? But Fowler again's involved, Martin. I think it's been so bright, Robbie Fowler up front. And it's a beautiful little flick that sets Ray Parlour clear just there. He's happy on this right side. Shearer makes a lovely dart near post, misses it. But McManaman does what you want. From the left-hand side, get yourself in the box. You never know. He gets himself a tap-in. England get a third. With a lovely build-up, lovely goal.
England have their shooting boots, and now the chance to fill their boots. An hour still to go. They already lead Luxembourg by 3-0.
So even you must think the game's over now.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think it's.
But I must say, and of course broadcasters have to be impartial, but I would love to see Alan Shearer get a hat-trick for England, particularly the way his life has gone so far this season.
Why, don't you think he will?
Well, that's the one. I'm trying to give you the one case for him not finishing the game.
Oh, yes. Yeah, certainly Kevin will have a think now, 15 minutes from now, Mark, as to who he might take off and rest with Wednesday in mind. Well, I think Parlour, you can see even his involvement now down the right-hand side. Far happier, more at home there. Sensible move from Kevin. It shows you that, you know, you don't have to wait till half-time to realise that you have to make changes. Made a good one, in my opinion, there.
One of the decisions that was bothering Kevin Keegan yesterday was who to leave out of his 18 names, the 20 players he got available today. Only 18 could be involved on the team sheet. The two unlucky ones, Jonathan Woodgate and Kevin Phillips. Well, it's been a happy half an hour for England. Parlour growing in prominence. Dyer. If he wants, but he picks a more probing pass for Parlour. Robbie Fowler slipped at the wrong moment for him and for England. Schneider. Tice. Up by Adams and Shearer in a race here with Felger. The goalkeeper, I think, read that quite well, because the ball was just veering out of his penalty area, so it was safer to go with the foot.
Well, good movement again, the front two, crossover.
Well, that was a more awkward save. Ball on the bounce from Vanek. But again, Nigel Martin will be happy to see them coming from that sort of distance. McManaman. Square. Dyer again. His own fan club on this side of the pitch. Oh, and it came off the hand of Pearson's, but a good advantage played by the referee. A very good advantage if you're Alan Shearer, because Shearer has scored his first England hat-trick.
Well, it might be his hat-trick, but the one who's wallowing in all the glory is that young man there. What a sensational opening 30 minutes of full international football he's given England supporters today. A wonderful, wonderful decision from the referee to allow play to go on. But look at Shearer, a brightness that's maybe been lacking in the last month or so. But how quickly he reacts to Kieran Dyer's reaction and gets himself into a position to get his first England hat-trick. A simple tap-in, but a wonderful feeling for the England skipper.
The 3 goals coming for the captain in a spell of 22.5 minutes, and no one more delighted than the England head coach, who kept faith. Flying in the face of other opinions in other quarters. Alan Shearer's strength of character not in doubt. At the moment, Kieran Dyer's fitness in question. So it's 4-0, and talking to the Luxembourg players, they said that would be a decent result for them over the 90 minutes. It would be very disappointing from England's point of view if it stays at 4-0 from now on.
That would be disappointing for England if it stays at 4-0, Mark. I honestly thought today, and I arrived here and said all along, I thought England could get half a dozen today if they were at it. And I think that the manager of Luxembourg feels exactly the same now. I think if he keeps them down to 6 now, he'll consider it some sort of a moral victory in the second half. But Kieran Dyer, as you might gather, a huge cheer from around the ground as the young man jogs round to the halfway line to come back on.
While you were watching that, Andy, I was just seeing David Beckham keep his peace with the referee after an incident with Banak, and that just goes back to the yellow card situation.
Yeah, I would be amazed if Kevin doesn't make a change at half-time, Martin. And I think Beckham, David's always been the most volatile of the England players, always one likely to spark or react to an incident more than most of the others. He will play on Wednesday, there's no doubt about that. Therefore, what is the point in playing him for the final 45 minutes of a game that's won? I think he's got that in mind already, the England manager.
Just a thought for you watching at home, keeping count here. 9-0 against Luxembourg, the record England win at Wembley, 1982. Batty, oh, and confusion, it seemed, between Schaus. I'm not sure he knew where his goalkeeper was, but he found him.
That was close. I got a cup final goal at this, you know. Won it. Somebody chipped the ball back like that, and David Needham chested it past Peter Shilton, and just like Robbie Fowler is there, Irish ran in and tapped it in. He was almost in, Robbie. He deserves something for his 37 minutes, Robbie Fowler, Martin. His work rate's been very impressive, and his movement's been good.
Andy modestly neglecting to mention that his goal was a winning goal in that League Cup final.
You know, I think you take everything into context when you look back at a match. It is Luxembourg, but the record suggests this season that they're a tougher proposition to beat. I think the 3 goals is the most they've conceded in this championships in any one game so far. England, 37 minutes in, have 4. So England have played well. The passing and movement's been good, of a higher standard than we've seen in recent internationals, and that could only bode well for going into Wednesday.
Coming up straight after this game, Sweden against Bulgaria. And if Sweden win that game, England cannot surpass them in this group. Bulgaria now cast as also rounds. Wonderful viewing weather for the camera in the sky, giving you these great pictures on Sky Sports. Schneider still off the pitch. Not enough with 11 men. Dyer. Parler is onside.
No chance.
Was a missed opportunity.
He'll be disappointed, he is. Good movement. The right-hand side has been so productive today, Martin. The movement's been good again. A lovely little diagonal run from Ray Parler. He's got time. Just a little lazy with the cross.
Schneider back on.
Well, can you believe the signal from Kevin there? He's just shouted at Stuart Pearce, tell Kieran Dyer just to calm down for a minute. I think they're just a little bit worried whether he's got a slight strain, Martin, and they just want to protect it till half-time and have a look at it. Just suggesting to him, just calm down for a little. Try. Kevin should remember when he made his debut. It's not easy to calm down.
And Dyer then using his pace, but running a little tentatively, still with enough speed to giving them the assurance that they needed defensively then. It's it's all well and good to say these games should be won by wide margins, but to go out and do it is not quite as easy as it might seem, and England can draw great heart. You can only beat who you're asked to play against. Luxemburg, of course, won't win any international prizes. Not at football, anyway.
Well, first goals, as I said at the beginning, are so important. When you get it, often determines how many you win by. Within 10 minutes, England were a goal ahead.
Belgium has already had a bad experience in goal for his club Jeunesse in the European qualifier already this season. He conceded 8 to Skonto Riga, the team that eventually got through to play Chelsea and lose to Chelsea in that playoff for the Champions League. And Ben Dyer earning great acclaim, and then Fowler. And of course is invariably on the same wavelength as McManaman, usually on the same telephone line as McManaman. Great mates. Defender by trade, being pushed into a holding role in midfield. Posing, needing help, and he gets it from Schulz. Thijs. From Van Eyck, not accurately enough for Christoph. Beckham. And Parler's made the run. Maybe Parler expected some Beckham backspin on the pass, but
just skipped away from him. But he made a really long run. Beckham spots it. I don't know whether he could have taken it. No, he couldn't. It's just too far ahead. He skipped away from him. A much more effective Ray Parler, Martin, since Kevin moved him from left to right.
He doesn't seem to have done McManaman much harm.
No. Popped up with a goal. His first for what, 24 games, is it?
This is his 25th, yeah. Shearer. He's already got through. Keeper's misjudged it unless he's a very good tackler, which he turned out to be. Stuart Pearce would have been pleased with a sliding challenge like that.
Lovely run from Shearer. He went short for a yard and then just turned and left Funk well behind.
Good play at a price by Christoph. Adams behind him. Referee allowed the game to go on. The sort of challenge that an England defender could pick up a yellow card for. It's always risky coming in from behind. It's England throw and on with the game as far as the officials from Belarus are concerned.
The fans at the far side, I just love Stuart Pearce there. Not content just to let the ball go, he was having the guy as well.
He's not just back for fun, you know. He wants to be playing in Warsaw on Wednesday. Oh, it's Batty in the clear. Who's he going to pick out in the centre? McManaman with a header. Well played, David Batty.
Yeah, they really were all over the place. Luxemburg, man. David Batty absolutely makes a decent run, but look at the defending all over the place. Now it's just a matter of picking the ball out. Little set up for McManaman, takes his time. It's a lovely little ball from David Batty. And that's reward for a pretty good and emphatic first half from England. They've been bright. As I've said, the passing's been excellent. Movement off the ball's been first class. They've been rewarded by some first-class finishing. Add it all up, it's 5-0.
2 for McManaman, 3 for Shearer. Well, that 9 from 1982, equaling it, and maybe even getting double figures at Wembley.
Well, see, now you're getting carried away, aren't you? A minute ago you were saying, "Oh, I'm not too sure the game's over," but now you want bloody double figures.
There are plenty of our viewers who want double figures. Batting. Pearce. Fowler hasn't found a goal for himself yet, but is dragging defenders all over the place.
Wonder if this might be the last little piece of action we see from David Beckham. Tell you what would be an interesting substitution, Martin. Beckham off, Gary Neville right back, shove young Dyer into the centre, let him run through them.
McManaman. Just wonder about Shearer off now.
Yeah.
He's not a player who ever likes being removed from a game, Alan Shearer.
But when told he's on a yellow card, and Wednesday's looming large.
Only played by Posing, and England go off to a real ovation at half-time. Yes, you can say it's only Luxemburg, but England have sparkled in the sunshine, especially the captain, who refuses to accept those who say that the Shearer era is over. The first of the hat-trick came from a beautifully drilled penalty. The second, now that was the Shearer of old, the power of the shot. Kieran Dyer, who's been so elusive on his debut, set up that third. The skipper's smiling. And Steve McManaman as well, who has collected his first 2 England goals at half-time. It's England 5, Luxembourg 0.
England's international is supported by Nationwide Building Society.
Well, what a 45 at Wembley Stadium. And tomorrow our football comes from the First Division's Port Vale against Grimsby on Sky Sports 2, and we're interactive on Sky Sports Extra as well. That's at midday. And it's followed by Bolton and Birmingham, again on Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra. Well, here at Wembley, England are having a wonderful time in the sunshine. 5-0 they lead against Luxembourg. Chris Waddle and Ray Wilkins, our guests here, who both said, well, 3 will do, a little bit like Martin Tyler, a little bit conservative, but it's been a great half, Chris, hasn't it?
Oh, brilliant. Got off from the off, really. They've created many, many chances, and really could have been a lot more.
And it's not just the goals either, is it, Ray? It's the movement that Andy mentioned,
yeah,
particularly in the case of young Dyer.
Yeah, young Kieran Dyer, and I think Robbie Fowler up front as well. It's probably easier for us to see here his movement off the ball, but his movement off the ball is just exceptional. And I just hope that he can get on the score sheet himself, because he has worked tirelessly. Kieran Dyer for a first game, my goodness, been absolutely fantastic.
And he made an impact almost immediately. Of course.
He did. It's what we spoke about before the game. He has this ability on the wide to go past people. This was a fantastic run, great feet, and it's a definite penalty. There's no dive about it. We'll see it in the slow motion, and he's pulled down. There it is. His left leg goes, and that's a penalty kick. But he's been absolutely inspirational, Kieran Dyer.
I think you both called keepers right.
No,
you went the other
Ray
way.
did. I got it right. Ray went to the keeper the wrong way.
And that was what we've come to expect from Shearer.
Yeah, that was a great finish. That was Robbie Fowler again. Great
Right
awareness.
at the heart
Great
of it, wasn't he?
again, Robbie Fowler on this one. Great awareness.
2 players we did mention at the start. Shearer, we said, needed goals. Steve McManaman was due goals, and they both produced the friends.
Well, you have to have scored, like Macca especially scored a couple of goals there. Once again, Kieran Dyer was a little bit disappointed here, I've got to say. He makes Alan's hat-trick, gets himself injured, and I would just like Alan to have shown that little humane side about him and gone over and seen if he was okay, because once again, Kieran here was just top draw. Gets his head up, rolls it across the 6-yard box, and it's just a tap-in.
Stuart Pearce went a long way to make sure he was all right.
Yeah, he went about 70 yards, yeah, to see he was okay.
I I'd like to see Steve McManaman, although he scored 2 goals, I'd just like to see him have a go at people a little bit more. You know, he's come inside off the line, whether he was on the right side or the left side. When he received the ball, he came inside all the time. I didn't at one time see him turn, face the guy up, and go past him on the outside.
You don't mind that, is it? As long as they come inside and say, well, I'm taking... Kieran Dale comes inside, but he goes past people.
What can we expect now? Changes? More goals?
I would say he'd be changing it now. For who we don't know. I would think Beckham and maybe Shearer. He's got his hat-trick, he's got the match ball. But yeah, I'll put Teddy Sheringham and whoever. Give them a run out. There's definitely more goals in the game, definitely.
It's been a great half. 5-0 England lead. 3 for Alan Shearer, his first international hat-trick. 2 for Steve McManaman. And there's more to come. Please, where that came from. We're back after the break.
England's international is supported by Nationwide Building Society.
Wales have equalised in their game against Belarus this afternoon. Dean Saunders, the goal scorer, and Northern Ireland have gone a goal behind to Turkey. The Irish, of course, can't qualify. It's a big day out for Lauren McManaman. They trail 5-0 to England here at Wembley Stadium. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
As Gary Neville joins the action, Kevin Keegan always planned to use the Manchester United defender who missed the start of the season, but has come back and played the last 2 games for his club in the Super Cup and that 5-1 romp against Newcastle. Well, he comes on here with England leading 5-0 in place of Kieran Dyer. And there's a change for Luxemburg as well. Christian Alverde has come on wearing number 15 in place of Sasha Schneider, who was hurt in the first half, as indeed Dyer was as well. So we'll try and update you as to just how much it is tactical and thinking of Poland, just how much it might just be a slight snag for Kieran Dyer. Let's hope there isn't.
First surprise to me, Martin, is Ray Parlour back on the left, McManaman on the right. Having switched them, Parlour looked very comfortable, happier. McManaman chips in with 2 goals coming in from the left-hand side. Kevin's decided to start with them in the positions he started at the beginning of the match, right and left side. A bit surprised at that, I have to say.
Saibane with the pass. Neville, who hasn't been available for the last 3 games for Kevin Keegan prior to this one. Pearce. And of course, any injury now will be evaluated with next Wednesday in mind. Alan Shearer now with 27 England goals, in level with David Platt in the top 8. He felt that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing Kevin Keegan won't want, is one of his big players picking up a stupid injury in a game that's long gone won. But I know Alan, and he wouldn't want to come off. He would want to stay on and score 6 in the one game rather than just the 3.
Well, if he does score 6 in this game, it will be a New England record. 5 the previous best, 4 players, including Malcolm McDonald, another who's worn the number 9 at Newcastle. Pearson's jumping with Fowler. Neville is there. Oh, and Beckham was very disappointed that Fowler didn't just roll it into his stride. It's getting a bit tight. This is more adventurous from Luxembourg. There's a challenge by Pearce that the referee had a look at on Christoph. There are still 2 in red going forward. And the shot from Saibane.
Now the referee's just having a little word with Stuart Pearce. No more action taken, he's lucky. Psycho. Wasn't his best tackle. As the ball's played in, it's looked to play away. You can see he just catches his standing foot. looks quite mild, really, in the context of Stuart Pearce tackles, isn't it?
Well, it is just one extraordinary part of this week, the return of a player who was touting himself around to try and find a club. Newcastle has said he wasn't required anymore. And Harry Redknapp saw the potential in bringing Stuart Pearce back to London, where he started all those years ago in non-league football with Wealdstone while he was qualifying as an electrician. Came a little late into the game, and I think if you do that, you want to go on as long as possible.
I'm just thinking of the McManaman thing, Martin. I just wonder if with Kieran Dyer going off, that Kevin maybe thinks that Gary Neville won't give him the same penetration from right back area, and he's thought, well, that right area was so profitable. 5 goals all built on the right hand side of the football pitch, and it may just have thought, well, let's get a runner with the ball on that side, and that might have been the reason that he switched him.
England look right again. McManaman, Batty. Let's get some news on that departure of Kieran Dyer from George Gavin. George.
Yes, Martin, when he went down initially, Kieran Dyer, it was through cramp. He received attention for that on the field, but at half-time he felt his calf a bit painful in the dressing room, so he's come off as a precaution. It's nothing too serious. Kevin Keegan told me he's still well aware he's got 4 yellow cards out there on the England pitch, but he doesn't want to disrupt things too much. He says he's very pleased the way it's going so far.
Thank you, George. Really fabulous 45 minutes, though, from Kieran Dyer. To file away in the memory bank. Beckham. Chance to put in one of his famous crosses, and Belgium got to it and might have had to do that. Robbie Fowler was lurking.
Lurking with intent, but whether Robbie would have reached this cross, it's a little bit close to the goalkeeper. Might have done. The goalkeeper had to deal with it. At the end of the day, he's done well. He's put it behind and not just flopped it down into the 18-yard box.
Beckham's corner. Keown bring it goalwards. It's Tony Adams who was just trying to get goalkeeper, ball and everything over the line. Pearce. Matty keeping it in play. Parler thinking quickly then. Drawn Berson's the sweeper across to the England left, but Berson's won the ball very capably. Alfedi. Cybernet. He's got Ferrell with him. Christoph making a move in the centre. As the target for the cross. On the benches, then he's just been checking with Alan Shearer that he's okay after that jarring challenge early in the second half. Ferrell. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, Luxemburg have lost their last 10 away internationals, and they haven't scored a single goal in any of those 10 games. McManaman whips it in, and Funk, to his credit, was on his toes then. Shearer was on the move, but his marker that time got there first.
Well played, McManaman. Good little run.
Batty. He went crunching into the defender who has stayed down.
It was like a forearm smash, you know, that was. Edge of the box, crowd of players. I think the arms go up from David Batty as well. Whether it's in protection, he's running straight at the player. He's a long way away here, but they get a little bit congested there. goes the right arm, just catches him on the side of the head.
And there's Dan Tice, who hasn't had the best of fortune playing against England. He's felt the force of Batty then. He missed the penalty.
Well, the manager's furious. Well, he said he was passionate about his country, Martin. That says it all. 5-0 down, and yet he's still up there.
Well, there were a couple of incidents in the first half that, in how should we say, a closer game, might have had stronger refereeing. One involving Beckham. Beckham sought to defuse the situation with his own apologies. Tony Adams came into the back of Christoph. That wasn't given, and then here Dan Tice is being taken off on a stretcher. David Batty swung an arm. I mean, as you say, it wasn't a haymaking punch to cause damage and get into trouble, but it was still something that, in the modern day way of officiating, was untidy, and certainly in the mind of Paul Philippe is worthy of something a bit more serious than the referee from Belarus.
I think he's done all right, the referee. I think all the officials have, Martin.
Well, Northern Ireland on the wrong end of a 4-minute hat-trick from Arif for Turkey. Now the card is out against Funk.
Yeah, just chests it, then knocks it past him. He's late, he's high. You can have no arguments at yellow cards shown there.
Referee not happy with the taking of the free kick. Batty. Neville. It's good work by Batty again. Gary Neville's cross. Bearson's heads it out. And Flanagan stretched to beat Beckham with a hooking cross. David Beckham's mind there. He might have been caught in an awkward challenge. Beckham actually got his yellow card in Luxemburg for deliberate handball. Pierce. And he didn't give it up. Alvedi. Adams leaving it to Pierce to show his powers of recovery. The sun has gone behind some light clouds, but it's still stiflingly hot at Wembley, especially, I'm sure, at pitch level. Here. Free kick given for his contact with Christoph.
I think if we were Kevin Keegan, Martin, now, I think you'd be looking to make a change. The lads up there have done the job exactly as the manager wanted. Could not have asked for more from any of the players he picked in his starting 11. You know, just 10 minutes into the second half, it's not flat, but you know what I mean. They've just, the temperature's probably had an effect. It's just dropped a little. Might be someday, just like a Michael Owen or something like that. You bring them on and just freshen the place up a little.
Adams. Good little flicked header by Tice, who's recovered from that contact with Batty's arm. Pierce. Batty. Here's Parler. Neville. McManaman hogging the touchline. Posing is the player who stopped McManaman getting past him with the ball. McManaman. Fowler with Schaus at his back. Batty, Beckham, Shearer. Well, the wave was going round the ground, which, Andy, is often a sign that the spectators have just lost their concentration on the match for a moment.
They're here to party, there's no doubt about that now. That's more like Alan Shearer, though, Martin. Ball played into him, controlling it, looking to turn and get a shot.
Shearer restoring the need of the spectators to keep their eye on what's happening out on the pitch. Beckham. Fowler back on the right.
Again, Fowler, yeah.
And Shearer was setting himself. Funk got a foot to it. Cheeky flick from Beckham. Ball from Beckham, and Fowler coming in from the right-hand side, couldn't beat the goalkeeper to it. Valverde. No change on the scoreline so far in the second half, but Shearer, as ever, with Funk for company. He squeezed it infield to McManaman. They only had Fowler really to aim at. Robbie Fowler has scored twice before for England, both in matches when McManaman's been playing. Gary Neville's cross. Well, England had 4 players attacking it.
One David Batty. That's a measure of the confidence. Alan Shearer, I think, the one who gets on the end of it. Side foot volley. He hits the target. It's got to be his 4th goal. Whether McManaman gets in the way slightly. A better look from here, but just leaning back. Gets it up rather than down and in.
Forcing his way in front of Christoph. Max one by Vanek. On goes Funk, who is a very sturdy individual. Luxemburg shaping for a second change. To go. McManaman, who's helped himself to 2 of the 5 goals. Batty. Gary Neville with a chance to accelerate into space. Fowler going to the near post. Robbie Fowler lets it run. Oh, and McManaman.
What a chance for your hat-trick, eh? What a chance. Right, his mate's done everything he could to help him. Robbie Fowler, brilliant awareness, great step over. Oh, what a chance for Steve McManaman. What a chance.
And Gary Neville expressing himself like Kieran Dyer down the right-hand side then. Pearce with the cross. Goalkeeper's come and he's got to hurry back. In fact, he's helped by the whistle. And Beckham went in with a raised foot. Christoph, who's laboured in solitary fashion up front. He's used to doing that for his country. He's replaced by another striker, an interesting character, Mikhail Zaritsky, who plays his club football in Crete. He's Russian-born, married a girl from Luxemburg to get qualification, and scored a lot of goals in the Luxembourg League for 3 seasons in a row up to 1998, which got him a move into full-time football. So he is the one full-time player now in this Luxembourg lineup. The others have the usual assortment of jobs. Luxembourg, a centre of finance, 1 or 2 bank clerks amongst these players. of government workers. Dan Tice is a groundsman. We're quite impressed with the state of Wembley today. Beckham. He's pushing, Parler pushing on down the right-hand side, but Beckham couldn't pick him out. Zawicki. Vanek. Enjoying it a little more, Luxembourg, since half-time. Posing. Nigel Martin still able to enjoy what is his first competitive international for England. It's his 10th cap, and it's taken him over 7 years to reach that mark because of the consistency, particularly of David Seaman. Pearce. Crowd reacting to the sight of both Philip Neville and, in particular, Michael Owen, who has so many young fans. A hamstring that was damaged in April at Leeds has been repaired. He had a few minutes as a substitute for Liverpool against Arsenal last Saturday.
Can't see the numbers, Martin, who's coming off.
Well,
The
Tony
sun
Adams
shining straight into those. Everyone's standing around, Fowler, Shearer, wondering who's coming off for Michael Owen. Can we see? Look at that.
It looks like David Beckham. So they've avoided the yellow peril with him, and he can start getting his mind turned to a match in Warsaw. Michael Owen last scored for England in Luxembourg. Has been seen too much for his country since then. But a very popular arrival with 20 minutes gone in the second half.
I'll enjoy it. Only 2 minutes at the weekend for Liverpool.
And we're talking a lot about first today, Andy. The Shearer first hat-trick, McManaman's first England goals. Michael Owen hasn't scored for England at Wembley.
You won't get odds that he won't, I tell you.
Keogh. Free kick against the Arsenal man. He will have a few more games at Wembley, at least for his club in the Champions League, Arsenal's second home. Zawicki. Tice. So Tony Adams, who's got a bruised thigh, played a wonderful game for Arsenal and 65 minutes for England. That's the sum total of his season so far. Will it be enough to have him sharp and ready for Warsaw on Wednesday? We shall see. Stuart Pearce more as a central defender now. Shearer. Gary Neville's cross. Pearson's! Where that version of the ball was going to end up.
Had to deal with it though. Ball in near post, he couldn't afford to just let it go unless he got a loud, confident shout from the goalkeeper.
England group just inside the penalty area. They spread now. Keogh, Shearer, Pearce! Oh! Well, the comeback itself
Flags up,
was special. And now the
flags up.
goal is going to be ruled out.
Well, I was just about to say, fairy tales do come true. I tell you, this is a tough call. No one touches this, and how on earth it can be classed as offside? Well, he's right in front of the goalkeeper, I guess. Can't quite see who that is from here, but well, that's unlucky for Stuart Pearce. The linesman's right in putting his flag up. You see it's Fowler in front of the goalkeeper. I don't think the goalkeeper would have gotten there without Fowler there.
But it was a good decision.
Yeah.
Not for Stuart Pearce, who was saying in the week he'd quite like to be Michael Owen or Alan Shearer, maybe even Robbie Fowler. He's actually scored more international goals than Michael Owen to this point, and would have pulled away if he'd got that one to his name. But there have been some awkward offside decisions in this game, and it's credit to this group of officials from Belarus that with the benefit of replays, we have been able to support them all.
It just shows you can get it right. Yeah, they've been first class. Well, I've enjoyed today, Kevin. I think he would want another goal, Martin. He would want to give this fans who have been in really good form today in support of their country. He'd like to give them another goal just to send them home. In a very, very happy mood, and I bet it wouldn't surprise me if that young man there pops up with his first, as you say, Wembley goal. And if he does, I think I'm pretty safe in saying it wouldn't be his last.
Shearer. Yes, I suppose we'll be referring to this in time to come as the old Wembley. Did you score at the old Wembley? Michael Owen has done that for England youth team. Philip Neville in on the left-hand side might have been a little perturbed. I'm sure he wouldn't have said anything to anybody about it, that a 37-year-old was brought into the squad and brought into the team. Kevin Keegan said he wanted a left-footed left-back for this game. Owen. A lot of traffic to get through there. Shearer and Fowler in the centre. Philip Neville going to show he can cross it with his left foot. Corner for England. 20 minutes to go.
Quick corner.
But it's caught Luxemburg out. Martin Keown finding himself wide right. As was Stuart Pearce. He's lost none of the bluster, has it?
Well, the manager's out again. Luxembourg manager is absolutely furious. Stuart Pearce has been booked. Yeah, that's one of those ones that it's a hospital ball, you would call it, delivered by Martin Keown. He doesn't quite catch it, scuffs it back. I think it's a first tackle, just goes over the top of the ball. Never been a tackle that way.
No, we've enjoyed having him as a studio guest as well in his international interlude. He talks like he plays. Gives it you straight.
The manager's brilliant, you know, just trying to get him in the dugout. Oh dear.
The fourth official trying to shepherd Paul Philippe back to his seat. So he really cares. I said to him yesterday, his contract finishes in 2002. Will he finish then? Why? He said, unless they finish with me. But once this finishes, it's all eyes on Sweden. They play Bulgaria, and we'll bring you that match 5 o'clock. Shearer, batting. Neville Jr. Owen, now McManaman. McManaman's early pass for Michael Owen. And it's knocked away from Shearer by Schultz. Gary Neville, plenty of options. Shearer, Parler, Batty, McManaman. Eventually, Vanek gets a decent foot to it for Luxembourg. The bounce beats Zaritsky. A bit more like England of the first half. Batty, McManaman. Appears to keep England on the front foot again. Keogh. Luxembourg gamely trying to keep it at 5. Which they've done so far throughout the second half. Ferrand's tackle. Corner for England.
I mean, England are in cruise control, Martin, isn't a doubt about that. They've got gears to go if they need them.
McManaman. This is Ray Parler. So his clubmate Martin Keown is Batty scurry. Good turn by Parler.
Good strike by Parler. Just used the pass just to hold the defender off. Just watch him, he just uses his body strength and really drills it. That bends half a yard, that's a magnificent finish. He just hits it too cleanly. It just goes as straight as an arrow. Didn't deviate at all.
It was 5-0 here against Luxembourg in '77 when Kevin Keegan was amongst England's scorers and Paul Philippe played for Luxembourg. Philip Neville. Owen prepared to work for the wider positions and caused a bit of confusion. Well, Paddy Posing did well then. It was a poor pass to him and he managed to hook it forward. And now Luxembourg get an offside decision. 09009, 112233. We'll call for man of the match, please. Might get a few calls from the northeast.
I would think so. Line's busy from that area. Kieran Dyer will certainly get a few, even though he only played 45 minutes.
I'm sure he won't be thinking it, but maybe we can just float it. The 45 minutes in which England scored 5 goals. Owen on the prowl. Fowler. Shearer trying to drift away at the back post, and the header came from Owen, and if he could have climbed another inch or so, he would have got his first Wembley goal.
That's all it needed. You're absolutely right. It's a nice delivered ball, middle of the goal, 6 yards out. If Shearer's climbing for this, it's number 6. I think he gets there, you know. I just don't think he gets enough on it. I think he got there. Not bad though, only 7 on target. That'd be the disappointing thing, but those 7, 5 have counted.
All right. Shearer will get there first. Tries to steer it off to Philip Neville. Parler joining Fowler in the centre. Owen, of course, is there. Batty. Rooted away by Ferrand. Now Alverdi. Sweeper Bearson's moving into midfield, trying to give Zaritsky something to chase.
I thought you were suggesting we're going for it for a minute, yeah.
Well, the scorer of a goal for Luxembourg at Wembley would find himself fated for the rest of his life. Gary Neville moving infield, hoping for that sort of pass. Fowler. And Belgium made the most of the save. But there was a great touch on that far touchline, I think, from Michael Owen.
It was lovely football. It was a great ball from Batty, first of all, Beckham-like in its delivery. And I thought Fowler had gotten himself a goal. His overall plays deserved, but not to be. Just a touch too close to the goalkeeper with his header.
Parler. Batty saying, I'll take over here. Luxemburg trying to push out to the edge of the area. Parler trying to unhinge a defence that's done much better in the second half. McManaman. Too high for Shearer. England have had so much of the ball, they'd put so much into the... so much of the ball. It's astonishing.
I think that 18% is only goal kicks, isn't it?
But it's sometimes the way when a team have really outstripped the opposition in the first period. Some of the real zip does go. Batty and McManaman looking to prove that it's still there with the help of Owen. He's come on with Philip Neville and his brother Gary. Changed things for Kevin Keegan in the second half. But the dynamism of Kieran Dyer will be one of the major talking points on this particular Saturday afternoon at Wembley. Pearce. Fowler. Quite stick for him. Batty into the crowd of defenders. Straightforward cross from Gary Neville. Not too straightforward persons in Belgium. There was a disaster between this goalkeeper and a defender in the match against Poland when they just dropped the ball and gave Poland a goal. They avoided that particular trap that time. Owen. Here's Fowler. To slip it back in towards Philip Neville. England were well represented in the centre. Pearce. Shearer pulling away, trying to get the drop on Funk. He's done that. Oh, and he could have left it for McManaman.
Was he shout? Was it a shout? Knowing the player Owen is, he was always going to look to pull that down and spin and hit. I just wonder if he got the call early enough from Steve McManaman.
Shearer pulled away from Funk again and was impeded by the defender. And Funk, grateful that the referee there has just let him off with a warning.
Stuart Pearce has trotted over to this mark. He wouldn't dare hit it, would he?
He's probably remembering the routines from 93 or 1989. Well, Pearce could be fierce here.
What a ball. I mean, near way up high. I don't know how that looked to go pretty much at head height across the face of that goal. Oh, that's a brilliant area. Oh, that deserves a goal. You just need a touch on that. Super ball in.
Paddy Posing is going off to be replaced by one of a pair of brothers who faced England in the game in Luxembourg, the Deville brothers. This is Frank Deville. Keown's header. The spectators behind Nigel Martin's goal in the second half have been spoiled. They've had real value for their money today.
Including your boy.
I see that, as you mentioned, yeah, it's in that part of the ground. McManaman. Batty. McManaman again. Pearson's doing the covering. Luxemburg wanting to play their way out of trouble. Cybernet. Collected though with a good touch by Batty. Luxemburg, incidentally, not subscribers to the view that it should be maybe a mini UEFA tournament for the lesser nations. They get fantastic sponsorship for being involved in matches with the likes of England. And they're not short of money in terms of getting players available and paying them retainers to be with the national squad.
I would be pretty pleased with the second half performance, Martin, at the moment. No goals, 84 minutes into the match. Having said that, it's very much a half-pace England second half.
Shearer, now for Robbie Fowler. Well, the sight of goal, but not the goal that he would love to get to wrap up his afternoon's work.
The angle just got a little bit narrow for him, but again, it's good movement from Fowler. Love the little darting run, the extra touch on it, just took it away from goal. Couldn't quite do what Shearer did first half and squeeze it in. Very tight angle.
Minutes to go. England with the 5-goal advantage that was secured before half-time. Owen. Philip Neville's cross. Keown trying to win it in a position where Luxembourg were streaming out, and England really could have found some of the space that's not been so conspicuous in the Luxembourg defence in the second half. Tandy was properly stressing the job done by half-time. McManaman. England, their supporters would love to see another goal. Batty. Plenty in the centre.
He's played well today, David Batty. Martin, I think he's been immense.
Parlour. Gary Neville!
Oh. Marco van Basten like it, wasn't he? Apart from the finish.
Well, it was brilliant technique. He just couldn't get it straight enough.
I watched it come down. Not always easy when you watch it through the air, and he's only, what, a foot wide. Strikes it pretty well.
But more game time for Gary Neville, one of a group of Kevin Keegan's players who didn't start the season fully fit with their clubs. So that'll be a positive from the second half. Forward by Tice, comes straight back. Martin Keown for England. Batty. Owen wanted a better return pass. Pearce. Shouldn't also forget the heat in which the players have had to do their work today. Parlour. Gary Neville again.
He does like that run, Gary Neville. The long diagonal. Beckham tried to pick him out earlier. This time it's Parlour, and he's only fractionally away Goalkeeper in no man's land. Good touch.
Remember, Sweden against Bulgaria to come on Sky Sports.
Well, it's been a job done today for Kevin and his England side. Could have been a tricky game, but a great start. And a very, very impressive first half performance from his team have meant that they could basically stroll the second half. Reserve energy for Wednesday.
Cybernet. Now a chance for Ferrand maybe to get forward. So Ritzky's lost it. Shearer pulling to the right, Fowler and hitting it straight through the centre. And again, we should point out that Luxembourg only lost 2-0 in Sweden and 3-0 in Poland. But in the first 45 minutes here, they were really taken to the cleaners, particularly by England's work on the right. They certainly got it right in that department. So Ritzky just came back from an offside position as the ball was played. A niggle that Batty didn't start but didn't need to be involved in. Wanted to get the game going quickly, so Ritzky had other ideas. We've got 4 minutes to play, or time added on. Shearer. Batty! Might have taken a deflection on the way through. Goalkeeper did very well to keep it out. Parler. Owen. He can hit it, and was just maybe over-eager.
Well, they almost dropped to the young lad. Got a little bit of good fortune edge of the box. Just there as it drops him. Sits up lovely. It's there to be hit. Just dragged it a little across. You'll have enjoyed that though in nice warm weather, Martin. Muscles will be nice and warm. It's a good 25 minutes.
Well, England finished last season very much on a downer, held here by Sweden when Paul Scholes was sent off. Didn't play well in Bulgaria on a difficult pitch against the awkward opposition. They've got together again, cleared their heads, and of course it's what happened on Wednesday that is the bottom line. Again, Batty involved in England's attacking play. You say looking ahead we'll all be playing games to pick our team for Wednesday night, that David Batty will be in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, there's a few on this side that we know will definitely play on Wednesday night.
Parler. Shearer. He's got a match ball for his collection. Plenty of Premiership hat-tricks in the past. This is up at international level. All right, you can say it's against Luxembourg, but in the record books, it's a hat-trick. Steve McManaman's best efforts to join him have failed so far. Owen. Cybernet just scraped it away from Michael Owen when there was a suggestion of that searing pace coming into play. Good corner again from England. They'll wrap it up nicely now. 6 in the sunshine in stoppage time. Gary Neville's cross. I think to pick out Michael Owen. Valverde. Free kick for spot of handball. Valverde and Tice. I don't think Ferron wanted to get that far forward this late in the game. Owen has left Vanek. Ferron chasing back. McManaman. Still lots of players in red. Oh, Owen looks to curl it. Oh, that's wonderful. That is the perfect way to wrap it all up. Michael Owen with an outstanding goal in any context, and it is his first at Wembley for England.
Well, this is icing on the cake for England today. It doesn't look to be going anywhere. It looks to have broken down, a little bit of miscontrol, but it sets his stall out. It sits down in front of him. He looks up, and from where you and I are sitting, he has a look at this, and it's on its way. And when it left his foot, it was finding nowhere but the back of the net. What a wonderful way to score your first international goal at Wembley. Fantastic.
An announcement from Michael Owen. I am back. Alan Shearer has made his own statement that obituaries about his international career are premature. He has the match ball tucked under his arm. Steve McManaman, his first England goals, and smiles all round. Not a question of winning today, but about the style of victory against one of Europe's minnows. And the performance, particularly in the first half, was top-notch for Kevin Keegan. Those 5 goals in the first 45 minutes, and Kieran Dyer with a dynamic display on his England debut, brought down by Bearsons. The early goal that Andy Gray was talking about arrived from the penalty. Shearer's mood was vastly improved by that. Of course, he smacked in the second. McManaman tapped in the third. All this coming down the Luxemburg left. Dyer creating the goal that Shearer will remember, the one that made the hat-trick. David Batty went wide right to pick out McManaman's head for number 5, and then it looked as though it would be a scoreless second half until stoppage time, before a little masterpiece from Michael Owen. England have warmed up today for Warsaw in more ways than one, and our best wishes go with them on Wednesday night. The man of the match is Alan Shearer. And the puff of the cheeks, I think, indicating a little bit of personal relief as well. Andy, quick final thoughts from you.
Well, I think Kevin will be a very happy man tonight, Martin. He could not have asked for a better performance 4 days before he takes his team to a mightily important European Championship match in Poland. A 6-0 win, but more than that, a very, very good performance from me. First half was as good as I've seen England pass and move the ball around the football pitch for some time. He'll be delighted. He's players confident. No better way than to go into that huge game on Wednesday night.
Well, they're celebrating 6 of the best today, and let's get some quick post-match reaction with George Gavin.
Alan, the first England hat-trick of your career. Is that a major landmark, even though it's only against Luxembourg?
I've always said there are no easy games. You have to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I've done. I don't have to answer to anyone, as I keep on saying throughout my career. I'm just delighted that we have 3 points, and it sets us up nicely now to go to Poland and hopefully get a good result.
You've had a bruising week, if you read all the papers. Did you need a confidence boost?
No, I don't. I need chances, and I'll put them away. And I'm part of a Newcastle side that hasn't done well at the start of this season. I take responsibility for that. But I don't have to answer to anyone, least of all discredited people. I'll listen to Bobby Robson, I'll listen to Kevin Keegan. So long as I keep those 2 people happy, I'm not interested in anyone else.
Kieran, a great debut for you. Are you aware, though, it gets tougher than that?
Yeah, of course, Luxembourg isn't the best international team, we know that, but we had to do a job today, and we done just that.
Looking forward to Poland now?
Yeah, obviously I wanted to play the second half, but the physio said that Spessa came off, and they know more than me about injuries, so it was wise to come off. Hopefully I'm selected for Poland, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Bobby Robson was the guest of honour today, as you know, Alan. Do you welcome him to St James's?
Yeah, as I said yesterday, I've not had the privilege of working with him, but whoever you speak to in the game of football hasn't got a bad word for him. And he's seen this young man on his debut today put in his